Oi, oi.
Morning.
Morning. Well, it's afternoon now, isn't it?
It is.
Because you're late today. Just trying to get this all buttoned off. It's ready.
Look at that.
Ready for the TT.
It's ready. I get it.
Yeah. It's ready. Yeah.
So this is going to the TT.
This is going to the TT. So let us travel through the intro and I'll tell you all about it. Biggity biggity bop. It's new and improved. Love upgrades, updates or upgrades.
Yes.
This is OMG Racing's twin turbo Audi R8. So it has a pair of whirlybirds on the back. Last year, we dressed it in a Lamey vape wrap. Do you remember? The black and gold? Black and gold.
Yeah, I will drop a picture of that in.
And this year, so basically OMG Racing are official Yamaha supported, and they run in British Superbikes with Ryan Vickers and Kyle Ride, but Yamaha do not let people ride their bikes on the road. You can go and buy a Yamaha and ride it on the roads and ride it on the TT, but they're a factory supported team, so they're not allowed to do any of that. So Alan's had to basically help James Hillier. So he started WTF Honda. They're not allowed to be associated, they're not allowed to be linked, they're not allowed to be anything. Like when you're factory supported, you have to play by the rules.
Okay.
So obviously, you know, James is fucking quick at a TT, so they're on Hondas. So it's WTF Honda, and the Honda is red and black.
Perfect.
So we've gone carbon front bonnet, carbon front splitter. We have gone, obviously it already had a carbon rear spoiler on it, it already had carbon blades, it's got carbon brakes.
Of course it has.
And then we've done a 2022 front end conversion as well.
It looks mean.
It does look cool, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does look cool.
Should we check out his new, fancy new number plate?
Go, WTF.
Nice.
Yeah, so you have to keep an eye out this year. So James Hillier's on, obviously, WTF Honda. It's nice. It's nice. It's nice.
Yes.
A pair of efficiency multipliers.
Yes, indeed.
So it's lovely, lovely, jubbly. Yeah. So
I think he'll be pleased with this.
Yeah, I think he's coming down the next couple of days. So he'll be happy. I was always happy, he's mint. So.
Another one done.
Done. Romeo done. So it's all good. It's all good.
Right, what's next?
The boys are getting a TTRS out. So I'll just take the keys out of this so no one nicks it. Mitch's lawnmower's here.
It's back.
It's back.
The little aero beast.
Sharpened the blades look on the back for his grass cutting. That's done. Carl's K20 shitbox. Matt's got a Scirocco diesel. Obviously, honestly, everyone who works for me has got shit cars. What? Yeah. The Ferrari's in for a clutch. The Skyline can be the Skyline. Jordan de-wrapped an RS3 for Chris at VGS. And this is what happens when your wrapper uses really shit wrap. You see it?
Oh.
It has left the glue on everywhere. And I mean every single panel is covered in glue. Look at it.
That does not look like an easy fix.
This is brutal. This is brutal. And Jordan, bless him, has tried everything to get that off. Tar and glue, fuel, fire, like a lot. Nothing's bringing it off because the wrap they used was trash. was a really good job, but the material they used was junk. So some decisions need to be made on that now, because it's, God, that's Jordan's problem. I'll let him deal with it. The Cayman is turboed, and it's in for a service and aircon compressor.
Oh,
so
that belongs to a mate of mine called Dave.
It does. It's Dave's car, mate. It's Dave's car.
So I featured his B5 S4
Right, okay.
back on the Audi mag.
Yeah, yeah.
He had it as a track car.
So that is, we'll get that sorted. Adams is here for a checkup, because obviously we've done all the engine work on it, got it rebuilt and sorted. So we'll just check that over. The Lambo is in for a misfire and a service, but we've got to find the misfire.
This is a 5 litre.
This is the old 5 litre, yeah. The old 5-banger. This one's done, ready to be picked up. Rob's is waiting on a centre coolant pipe, and Joe's bought a new exhaust because we put in a 2022 rear bumper on this, because the front's already done. It's got a Capristo system on it, and it works out cheaper to buy a new exhaust than to take the Capristo off and me modify the Capristo to work. So basically, the pre-facelift Capristos had bolt-on tips to come out the square, dressing tips.
Yep.
And the 2022 car onwards, or the facelift car onwards, has got round ovals, but they're not bolt-on. They're part of the exhaust.
Right.
So he's sorted a new exhaust out. So we'll swap that and do the bumper. There are other stuff here, but we'll end up just going into a waiting for parts story. What is inside then, Davla?
I don't know. I think there might be more Lamborghinis in here.
Should we go and look? Oh, pair of Hurricanes. Ash is in for a service and an engine light on. We're going to put some wiper, but Carl's already done the battery, but we're going to do wiper blades as well. They sent us the wrong wiper blades. Sent us like left-hand drive ones or something. So, like there's any left-hand drive Hurricanes in the country. Mine's on a ramp.
Minus wheels.
Minus wheels, yeah. I had someone reach out to me who is up for doing a swap on the wheels. So we're trying to sort that out. Strip down corner, looks like a bomb's hit it, because Corey's car left late on Friday because he went to Supercar Fest. So we pulled a long week trying to get that all done. So that was Dodson, second gear, ring and pinion, wave track diff, upgraded bolt kit, circlip mod. What else do we do? Big clutch, and then put it together and fix a load of other little bits and pieces as well. So that run really well at Supercar Fest, which is good.
Good stuff.
So yeah, cars tickety-boo. This is Ben's, and we have done intercooler, intake kit, spark plugs. We're just reading the files off it now. And then Mitch put it on the dyno. So he's coming for that this afternoon.
That is a serious intake kit.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? It's cool.
Integrated engineering.
Yeah. They've kind of copied like the VWR one, but in carbon's flyer. So let me just buff the carbon. Yeah, pretty little thing.
Yeah.
So that's got to go on a dyno. The ZX, I haven't touched. Bike racing week now, isn't it? So.
Yes, priorities.
Jordan raced Evos at the weekend, so I think he got 5th overall. He's at Grittenham, but Jordan has died now.
Yes, I spoke to him earlier. He was a bit tired.
I think he's dead. He's in there, look. You all right? You can barely lift his arms. And I think that is about it.
All caught up.
Some questions. Should I sit in Jordan's chair and do them?
Yeah.
Get off my chair, mate. Smart ass, eh? Alan Sheard, 553. That crash helmet you damaged in the crash might come in handy when playing football. Thanks, mate. Daft question, how does that Lambo do in an MOT with effectively no rear wing or mudguards? I don't know. Would it fail? You can't fail for no rear bumper, can you? I think the only thing you would fail for is number plate lights. Yeah. So yeah, I don't think it's illegal. Yeah. So I don't know. A lot of it, MOTs are grey areas because it comes down to the tester. So no, I don't think there's much they can do about it. I think the only thing it could fail on is if it doesn't have a number plate light. But at the owner's behest, that. I2 Jan, would you ever consider an Italian bike, and if so, which ones? No. Maybe a V4R, but I have not got the bank balance to fix one of them if I loop it. No. No. If I was going to ride a big bike, it'd be an R1 or Honda. Just because if you can't beat them, join them. They're probably the two. The R1 because obviously I know a lot of people that run them at a very high level, so I could get bits. And the Honda because if you go and race 1,000 anywhere, they're all Hondas, so it'd be between one of those two. Not really Italian bikes. The Ducati's fast, but you got to ride them a certain way, and it probably doesn't suit how I ride. So, Simon Harvey, hi Ricky. If you had 100 grand for a supercar, what would it be? Not a Mercuron or Ferrari. I think he means McLaren. Not many good Ferraris you'd get for under 100 bags. You wouldn't get a 600 LT or 720S for under 100 grand. Maybe a 570. You wouldn't get a Huracan. It'd probably be a Gen 2 R8, wouldn't it, really?
I think so, yeah.
Porsches aren't supercars. So, yeah, probably Gen 2 R8 or 570S. Probably be the pick out of the two.
But you've kind of already got one.
Yeah, sitting it. Dusty Jacks. The irony is I sent an email just the other day about broken valve springs. Is this an issue that's starting to become more prevalent? And if so, is it a bad run of springs or is it idiots bouncing off the limiters? Would you recommend just buying up rated valve springs as a preventative measure? Looking forward to this one. Also turbo it, you're going to do it anyway. Broken valve springs I wouldn't say is an issue. You've got to remember, all we ever see is broken stuff. So it's hard to say it's a trend. On the V8s, especially in the RS4s, they do break a lot of springs. So the V8 and the RS4 and the RS5, I wouldn't say it's common, but we've done a couple. We've done a couple in the V8s. It's less so in the V10s, but I still have seen it. My honest opinion is normally because people rev shit out of them in neutral, or they rev them too high. That's what I think. Because the valve springs in these engines are the same, like from 2 litre TFSI all the way up, there's the same valve spring. So they're dealing with different RPM loads, they're dealing with different harmonics. One size doesn't fit all. My only problem with putting uprated springs in is your lift and seat pressure. So you're going to batter the cam when you don't necessarily need it. You kind of don't want to run too much spring pressure if you haven't got to, and on a naturally aspirated engine you haven't got to. So on that'll be having a set of 40 springs regardless of new ones. I wouldn't say it's a trend, but in my opinion on this car, because I know it went somewhere to be sold, I think they were sat there just blatting it off a limiter, and it's either jumped the rocker or cracked the spring. That's what I think. Because my Gen 2 R8, I drove out on track all day long and that lived in the limiter and it was fine. But when you're revving an engine unloaded, that's completely different. You should never ever do that. I don't like it. But Speed and Feed, great content and channel. Interested to see the repair. If you end up breaking down the bottom end, is reusing the mains, big ends a consideration? I would have thought replacing for new would be the only option. Yep, never reuse bearings. I never ever do. If I'm taking a crank or rod out, it's having new bearings, simple as. MCL Stormtrooper, hi Ricky, I'm in the process of building a beefed up 4 litre for my 765. I've got dart and sleeves in ductile iron with thicker walls. My question for you is, when it comes to com rods, do you prefer H-beam or the X-beams from Powter? Cost isn't a factor. I'd love to hear your opinion on this. I'm also speaking with a cam manufacturer to make billet cams. I've not played with these X-beams from Powter. To be fair, H-beams, or normally we use, I think we use more I-beams or H-beams. It's the shape of the rod. I think Carrillo's mainly H-beam. I'd have to have a look now. A lot of what I pick it on is based around weight is 1. What it's got to do is 2. And then how it balances out in a rotating and a reciprocating assembly. So I don't think you're not building a pro mod engine. So I don't think going super fancy is necessarily right. You just want a very good quality rod that you know works, and then spend your time on balancing it all out. That's what I'd probably say. So like the dart and sleeves we use in the McLaren engines we'd use like a Carrillo or an IRP rod, and they've been great. So just a good rod with a really good quality bolt, and then make sure your balance and your clearances are perfect. And that's what I would do. I don't know enough about them X-beams, mate, to give you an opinion on them. If they want to send me a set for appraisal, I'll have a look. Put them in an engine. Do you want them in the A6?
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. BMO Sturt. Does the new RS4 owner have a channel or blog? I'd be interested in following that, having just bought one. His name is Luke. I think he's Luke RS4 on Instagram. Yeah, go check him out. That's my RS4 that Luke's just bought off me. So, John Riley, what happened to the Noble? Did you scrap it or is it on hold? It arrived as scrap, John, if I'm honest. No, it is stripped. It is sat over there, and I am trying to get a chassis for it. Yeah, it's just taken a while to get hold of the guy who has one. So that's the next step. Once I've got a chassis, we can start reassembly, because there's an engine there, a suspension over there, there's a gearbox. So yeah, we got loads of stuff, but I just need a chassis to start putting it together. Is he in ins and outs? We did it, Joe. Hi Ricky, reposting an old question I posted on the ZX one. Love every single video, keep it up. I wanted to ask a question regarding V10s, first gen R8s. I've seen R8 GTs and some mint manual V10s go for about the same, €100,000 range. I take it this is a Europe thing. GTs are probably not as apt as a daily driver main vehicle, but I was interested about the total cost of a gated manual conversion for them to see if I should spend my time looking for one or not. I know you've done those in the channel before, but don't recall hearing an approximate quote for those. For my needs, I'd be more than happy with a manual V8, but the scarcity of several parts and a lack of good examples in my area makes me wonder if it's worth a risk. Thanks a lot, and hoping to see more content about ZX. That's hard, because I get the impression there you want a daily driver. So I wouldn't say buy a GT. The GT is the best R8 you can buy. The R-tronic gearbox in it is bloody good. If you're thinking about buying an R8 GT and then manually converting it, then I mean, you've got to buy the GT to start, and then manual conversion, 15 grand, really, to do it. So you're better off just buying an outright manual. There's only 7+ manuals in the UK, and they change hands for about GT money, which is in the 80s. So again, if you're looking for a facelift plus manual, you're just going to pay. But 2010, 2011 manuals, 10 a penny are probably the most popular, so you'll probably get them for high 40s, low 50s, depending on the type of car. This is in UK, I can't comment on Europe. But I wouldn't tell you to buy an R-tronic and convert it to manual. You're pissing your money away, there's no point. So, yeah, I would just buy the best car you can afford with the right gearbox and do it as that. Because if you start thinking you're going to buy a car to modify it to make it what you want, you're just going to spend a lot of money that you're never going to get back. And they're not rare. There's enough cars out there to sort of keep everybody happy. It's just finding what you want. I got emailed a question that wasn't on a comment, and it was by a guy called Jim. And it is coding just a con by manufacturers to try and keep owners returning to dealerships, killing a DIY enthusiast. Depends what you mean by coding, because tools like Carly allow you to code the car yourself. So you can code parameters, you can code things inside the ECU, you can switch functions on and off. If you're on about ECU coding or security coding, so like immobilizers and stuff like that, people outside of the dealers can still do it, because we can do Audi, Volkswagen, I could do McLaren. Lamborghini is a little bit harder. But we can code keys, put new ECUs on, stuff like that. I don't think they do it to kill the enthusiast. Basically, new ECUs now turn up blank. So they don't come bolt on, bolt off. They turn up, you fit it, you tell the software that you fitted a new ECU. It goes onto a manufacturer's server, it pulls the software down for the ECU, and it pulls down the coding that should be in the car. Now, coding is settings, coding is not software. So it pulls down the software that should be an ECU, then it pulls down the settings that should be an ECU, and then it sets it all up. So it's literally drive in, drive out. And the reason it's done like that is because whereas you go back sort of 10 years and you looked up an ECU, an engine ECU for an R8, there'd be 20 different versions. What's the point of making 20 different parts? You may as well just make one part and then just allow the dealer to load the software they want for that. So that's what it is. You download the software or the firmware into the ECU and then you set it up. So that's why they do it. I don't think they give a toss about DIY enthusiasts. I think what they're trying to do is, one is streamline process, two is keep parts costs down, or keep parts options down, so there's only one part, which is why a lot of cars now supersede over to the latest revision. So it doesn't matter what it was fitted with. When you put your car in, it goes supersedes 2, supersedes 2, supersedes 2, and it's the latest one anyway. So a lot of it is that. And also as well, it's protecting the security of vehicles, because if you can just buy a tool to set up a new ECU or a new immobiliser, then literally what's stopping anyone popping your bonnet on your driveway, plugging in an ECU and driving your car away? So a lot of it is to do with that as well, because you know, you see these key scanners and stuff like that, that's causing problems on its own. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's a con. I understand people's frustrations with certain items, and software does beat us up. We get a lot of problems. I was doing an R8 this morning where we were trying to put Apple Play on it, and it just kept going in a loop, and it was files missing and all sorts. But yeah, it's because you can make a mess of a car now. If you put the wrong setting in, or you put the wrong parameter in, or you go on VCDS now and it gives you big warnings saying do not change this, or make sure you know what you're doing, because you can write an ECU off. You can just brick it and that's it, and you're done. So yeah.
So there we go.
Yeah, because ultimately, 9 times out of 10, the person trying to do it home in their driveway isn't smart enough to do it. There's not, do you know what I mean? You shouldn't be dabbling with that sort of thing. So yeah, manufacturers are probably, I wouldn't say they're trying to keep you in network, because at the end of the day, block exemption protects you. You can go and use anybody you want, which is why we end up with brand new cars into service. Block exemption allows you to do what you want repair-wise. A lot of the coding and adaptions and software and that sort of thing is around process, really. Make one part, make it fit 10 cars, and just make software different. And that's much easier than making 10 parts, holding stock of 10 parts, never selling them. Do you know what I mean? And then the rare ones are going to cost you more money because they don't shift and they have a short shelf life and that sort of thing. So yeah, that's about it, I think.
So there we have it.
There we have it. What do we think?
Tea?
Tea, yeah. Yeah, let's do that then. Let's do that. Any other business?
Don't think so.
No, nothing went wrong. Yeah, British was good. What happened in British? It was good, to be fair, Donington. Yeah, it was hard. Mikey did well. He won a cup race in Supersport and he came second on Sunday. And bless him, he lost his grandma on a Friday as well. So yeah, he sucked it up and got on with that, so that's well done. Kid's looking good. He's looking good. Little pup, cocky little fucker, but he's fast. And then, yeah, Georgie boy rolled up. First time in stock thousands. 2 20-minute practice and a 25-minute qualifying, and he was in the points, mate. 15th, and he'd done a 30.8 around Donington, which is just out of this world. But I knew he'd do it. I knew he'd do a 30. And the dozy bastard crashed out of the race.
Oh.
In the point. I think he was 16th fighting for the points. He definitely would have got a point because Joe Sheldon Shaw had a ride through in front of him, or had a long lap. So it would have taken Joe Sheldon Shaw out, and then him and Ashwell or whatever, they were fighting. There's a group of 3 of them. So worst case, he would have been 15th. Best case, he would have been 13th. But the Honda, they really struggle with front brake master cylinder, which is why the lads who run Dan Linfoot last year were caught cheating with the cylinders, because when he got his Honda, he had a Brembo on it, so it's a really stable brake feel, and then doesn't matter what you do, it stays the same, whereas it's illegal in stock. So George went back to the stock Honda master cylinder, sort of like 5-6 laps in, the lever's coming back to bar no matter how much he winds it out on the adjuster. So then he's gone to 4-finger braking to get his 2 fingers out of the way, and your feels different. It's just different. It's like wanking with your left hand. And he's gone into foggy S's, and he's good on the brakes anyway, and he's literally gone in. I've got it on my phone, so remind me later, and we'll drop it in here. And he just closes the front going into S's. So I was gutted for him. But the kid's shown his value now. He needs to be there. So if anyone wants to sponsor, the loveliest lad ever, he's too sweet to be a bike racer, but if anyone wants to sponsor him or help him out, then yeah, let me know and I'll put you in touch with him. He's George Edwards on Instagram, but it's just so expensive, mate. It's so expensive. Well, look at Mikey. I think Mikey on that Supersport bike is like north of 70 grand to run for a season. George is with his mum and his dad. They're literally doing it out the back of the van. Coops obviously helps, but the kid's got something. So we've got to keep him there now. So I don't think he's going to Knock Hill. He's never been there before, and it's a weird place. It's track knowledge. It's only a 50-odd second lap, but you need track knowledge at Knock Hill. So I think he's going to skip Knock Hill, and we're going to try and get him out for the next one. But yeah, if anyone's up for helping, wants to buy him a set of tyres, or go and message him, because the kid is something else. Like 28, 29, come to it really late. Yeah, third year racing, mate. He's in the points of British. Like, and them boys have got. Yeah. He's in with ex-BSB riders, lads who've been racing since they were kids. Honestly, mate, he absolutely fucking smoked loads of them this weekend. It was unreal. Yeah, 65 minutes into his stock 1000 career, mate, and he's 15th doing 30s. That wouldn't be last when stock 1000s were racing World Championship with World Superbikes. He would not have been last in a World Championship grid. That's how good he is. Yeah, and if you don't want to sponsor him because he's a wanker, then sponsor me, it's fine. So, race week this week, so I've got to get mine done. Right, is that tea time?
I think so.
That is tea time. Smash buttons. Thank you for supporting the channel. Tell me what I did wrong. And I'll see you in about 10 minutes when me and Dav do the next video.